Hello, world. The Scott Roth podcast for December 22nd, 2008. We're in Bakersfield. The reason I have this chilly scarf on is because our scarves came in. Dig these, everybody. These are top notch. It's almost like we're Manchester United with our jam scarves. I'm Vance Palm, VP Communications. The main man here, Scott Roth. First of all, Coach, and we have this is a loaded podcast. We have a ton of things to talk about. Let's start right off the bat with the fact that you're 2 Warriors down now.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Vance, it came at a shock because it was kind of a last-minute deal. And, I thought during the course of the year we might lose one, but to lose both of them in the same time period, I think it was a little bit of a shock. I think our guys were shocked by it. I think that's one of the reasons why we went to Utah and kind of flat a little bit and kind of, caught us off guard. But at the end of the day, like I've said before, we built this team with these guys in mind and not really having anyone from our affiliates come down.
So DeMarcus Nelson goes up to the Warriors, stays active, dresses, has 7 boards against Indiana, and then with Richard Hendricks, they recalled him but then cut him.
Right, and at the end of the day, in Richard's case, it's more of a situation where it's probably a rule that's going to have to be discussed during the course of the season, but I know they had some other problems with this last year. We lose Richard Hendricks basically until we get to the top of the waiver wire, which might not be for a few weeks. And so Richard's got some tough decisions, whether it goes back into the player pool and gets selected by another team, maybe goes to Europe, or sits out and waits a few weeks until we get to the top of the waiver wire. So that was a big blow with him, but we wish him very well. And obviously, DeMarcus, you never know, he might be back down in a couple weeks.
Coach, you mentioned it. After that, a gnarly road trip to Utah. We were iced in, snowed in. For those of you watching around the world, Bakersfield's about 2 hours north of Los Angeles, and there's a main corridor, a main thoroughfare that goes down into Los Angeles on Interstate 5. It's called the Grapevine. And if it's frozen, if it's closed, it is closed. And literally, no exaggeration, thousands of cars get stacked up all the way up I-5 and I-9. So you couldn't make it to Utah for your regular flight. You flew in, essentially, long story short, got into the hotel about 6 in the morning on game night.
Yeah, and we let the players go in the afternoon thinking we weren't going to fly at all.
Right.
And then we got a quick call later in the afternoon that we're going to get on this late flight, which ended up getting delayed 3 or 4 more hours. And like you said, we finally got to Utah about 4 o'clock and then got to the hotel about 5. And it was a long day and a long night, and we had to recapture the players. They went shopping at the malls and everything else. And so it was part of the D-League. That little mountain over there has caused us some problems last year, and hopefully it'll be a little bit kinder to us moving forward. And then we went into that game with Utah with, we were excited to play. We didn't play very well. We played hard. And in the last 3 or 4 minutes, I think we just kind of ran out of gas a little bit. I don't know if the trip or just the lag of losing those 2 guys at the end of the day kind of settled in with us. But we bounced back the next day.
Well, this will make for fodder and for some little chit-chat around the web, but the word on the street was that losing the 2 Warriors, that the team was now discombobulated. Dismantled was one of the quotes that I had heard go around through the locker rooms. Proved everybody wrong last night. Big powerhouse Western Division Conference showdown with Idaho Stampede. We handled our business.
Yeah, the guys came out great. I think that at the end of the day, like I've reiterated before, that this team was built with these guys in mind, and I think they got insulted by some of those comments that were kind of flowing around. I think people were waiting for us to stumble, and it was a big game coming here into our building. We hadn't beat Idaho last year at all, and Brian Gates does a great job with his team. He has a very solid team across the board with a couple of NBA quality players there, and so it was a big emotional game for us, and I think the players just want to go out and prove that they were more than capable of holding their own with or without NBA players, and they start off on a great 9-0 run on us.
So now we're 9-2, and we have behind us our NBA D-League Warriors Magic affiliate banner, because today is a very special day in our team's short history, and it's all about this gentleman right here, Coach Roth. We're having a press conference in about 20 minutes at a local pub eatery bar here called Tailgaters, and the big news of the day is, well, I'll let you tell them.
Well, it was bantered around for a little bit, and at the end of the day, Stan Ellis, our majority owner, and David Higdon, our minority owner, came to me and asked me if I wanted an extension, and we went back and forth a little bit on it, and at the end of the day, we signed that a couple days ago, and we're announcing it today. It's a great honor to represent the franchise. I have 2 great owners, probably the best, without question, in minor league sports. They've never told me no since I've been here, and it's always great to have good players too, though. At the end of the day, it kind of gets you where you're at. It's not about me. It's about the whole organization, the culture change, and everything else that's been going on, and the momentum we're building.
So the news of the day that we're here for is Scott has had his contract extended. He will take over the reins again for 2009-2010 in the NBA D-League season. And that, of course, is if he's not upstairs somewhere sitting next to a head coach in the NBA. The quote you gave me, Scott, was that from the moment I arrived here, Stan and David have been extremely supportive and consistent in their quest to bring a championship caliber team to Bakersfield. In doing that, they've made Bakersfield a desirable destination for players wanting to develop in this league, end quote. That's important because these guys that either are on the way up or they're vacillating between the association and here, the word travels, word spreads if they go down to a jive situation.
Sure, if things aren't kosher down there and they're not going well for them, this practice facility that we're going to be opening up next month is tremendous also. It's just another notch in our belt to attract players here that want to be here. And when you're trying to do things as best you can in this league as far as being first class and trying to do the right things by the players, they appreciate the little things, and they go a long way in this league. And Stan and David have been with us one step of the way, right hand in hand, making sure everything's been taken care of.
We told you this is a meaty podcast, a lot going on. Look at this right here. I hope this makes I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, now this picture, oh, great, Scott. This picture right here, wait a minute.
Right.
This picture right there, that's the rendering of our facility, and the picture next to it is the actual building going up right in front of our eyes.
And it's actually farther along than that.
It is. We took this in the beautiful blue sunlight. It's been rainy and foggy and wet over the last couple weeks here, so but it's a lot further along this, so it's a reality, this practice facility, and this is unprecedented. Some other teams have their own workout facilities, but no team has built one from the ground up from scratch.
And like I said, it goes back to Stan and David just being committed to doing the right thing, and at the end of the day, it attracts players, it builds winners, and it gives the players 24-hour access to go in there and shoot and work on their games, and that's what we're here for, to develop them.
Coach, I released our first edition of Jam Juice. Boy, we're sharp, creative, edgy thinkers here, aren't we? The Jam Juice. Everybody has a weekly newsletter. I was the last one out with them. I'm like way behind, but I put one out called Jam Juice, and we did a little numbers game thing. We put the top ranking that we have in the NBA.com D-League rankings. We put our home attendance. We put our record, and then down there I had another number, and it was 19. And that was the amount of pounds you had lost in 30 days in the Bariatric Solutions meal replacement program. But today you weighed again, Coach. Give us the number.
Well, I went to San Joaquin again, and the people over there have been tremendous with me. And I hadn't weighed in 10 days, so it's been this will be my 5th week in a few days.
Wow.
And 6 more pounds. And a total of 25. So Christina, who's in our office, has no chance of catching me really at the end of the day, but she's trying.
That's not a shout out, that's a call out.
Yeah, that's a call out.
But because she's 8 feet away from us, Scott,
but at the end of the day, I'm setting the bar and she's just chasing right now. So, but no, they've been great. It's been very easy to stay on. The meal plan's been wonderful. The people have been wonderful over there, and I really recommend it to anybody that's out there listening, because at the end of the day, it's not very often you can eat as much food as you want under their guidance and lose weight. And I've been dropping it like wildfire, to say the least.
Well, about to wrap up the podcast because we're going to have this killer press conference. Last final thought here is that today's the 22nd. Christmas right around the corner, and then you take off on a good, gnarly 17-day road trip.
I haven't been on one more than 14 days or 13 days in the NBA as an assistant coach, and for 17 days to be on the road is just incredible. It's going to be a very interesting trip. We have a lot of tough flights in between. There's a lot of bad weather back east and in the Midwest, and so we're going to be on an adventure here, and our guys are ready for it. We're excited. We're really excited about Christmas coming up to get a few days rest and see our families. My wife and daughter are in town today.
Hey, cool.
And so we're excited. So everybody out there in podcast land, we want to make you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll be back with you next weekend anyways in some very cold place in the Midwest.
Well, dig this, everybody. Just a quick little plug for the Bakersfield Jam. I was selected to call the Showcase D-League games on the Futurecast. So for those of you that are into watching the games on the Futurecast, we'll give you some more of this. Maybe Coach can let it out in his next podcast. And these sweaters, these scarves, these killer scarves right here. Look how long they are. Bakersfield Jam. You can feel like you're in Manchester at a soccer match, but they're really a Bakersfield Jam.
And we
scarves.
need them here because it's cold.
Well, call the office, 661-716-4526 if you want to pick up one of these killer scarves. On behalf of Coach Roth and myself and everybody in Jamland, happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.